Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Megan Moore. I'm a research analyst with the Legislative Services Division, and I'm here with my LFT colleague to talk about the accommodations tax. I'll let him introduce himself, and then we'll get started.
Yeah, hi, my name is Joe Bond, and I'm in the LFD. I work on a revenue team, and I'll be talking about the distributions from the accommodations taxes after Megan talks about the tax rates.
Thanks, Joe. So as I said, I'm a research analyst with the Legislative Services Division, and I staff the House Taxation Committee and the Revenue Interim Committee. I just have a couple of slides here today to give you an overview of the tax portion of the lodging taxes, and then Joe will talk about the distributions. My contact information is available here, and the slides will be posted online along with the recording of this presentation. So in Montana, we have two lodging taxes. The first is called the Lodging Facility Use Tax in statute, but many people refer to it as the bed tax. And this tax was enacted in 1987, and it is located in Title 15, Chapter 65 of our code sections. We also have the lodging sales tax, which was enacted in 2003 and increased in 2020. This tax is in Title 15, Chapter 38. And these taxes are both 4% of the sales price of the lodging, so that's a combined 8% total. Before the 2020 increase of the lodging sales tax, that tax was 3%, so it's gone up 1% since 2020. And these taxes are levied on lodging stays of less than 30 days. So if you do a month-to-month rental, those are not included in this tax. And then finally, I wanted to highlight in 2021, the legislature aligned the definitions for these two taxes and added short-term rentals to make sure that we're collecting revenue from lodging that's rented on online platforms. And before these definitions were aligned in 2021, they were slightly different, and that led to some administrative difficulty for the Department of Revenue because some portions of the rental fee for lodging were subject to one tax but not the other. So now all the definitions are the same. That's all I have, and Joe is going to now talk about the distribution of the tax revenue.
Joe, we can't hear you.
How about now?
Much better.
Thank you. I tested it before I got on, but oh well. Anyways, so the Legislative Fiscal Division has provided a few different resources. So I will show you how to get there. So starting on the legislative main page, go to fiscal, and then budget and revenue. So here are a few options. I'm going to start with the brochure here. So like Megan said, commonly referred to as accommodation taxes, they're going to be split up into two different taxes. These different taxes will have different distribution rates. So this brochure will provide information for both of those taxes. Starting with the sales tax, 3/4 of it, or 3% of the 4%, are going to go to the general fund, and then 1% will be split up. This was added in 2019 and in the 2019 session, but it is going to the Heritage Center construction currently, as well as historic preservation grants. Starting in January 1 of 2025, that distribution will change to the Historic Center operations, as well as a distribution to the Capital Development Fund. And then these state special revenue accounts, this is going to look very similar to the bed tax that we will talk about next here. Additionally, on the brochure, there's a lot more definition. I'm just going to give kind of an overview. So if we talk about the lodging facility use tax or the bed tax, the majority of this tax is going to be distributed to the Department of Commerce. In the last legislative session, the 2023 legislative session, the legislature added more guidelines for this 60.2% that's distributed to the Department of Commerce, as well as adding this distribution to the Department of Justice for emergency lodging grants for human trafficking. Other than that, this distribution has remained relatively the same. And there is more detail down here, as well as additional links and information on those distributions. The other source that the LFD provides is going to be this data tool here. And this will be a Power BI kind of way to visualize what this distribution looks like. So this is going to have historical information as well as HJ2 estimated forecast. And you can go and click on your different agency that you're interested in, and you'll be able to see how much of the total tax is going, where within that department is the tax distributed, and then as well as the 2024 fiscal year end collections in total. You can also look at it by fund type, and you can filter to different fiscal years as well. So those are going to be the ways that the accommodation tax is distributed, and different tools that the LFD has available. I think at that point, Megan and I are happy to answer any questions.